It's Topic Thunder. It's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledge it, knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder. It's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder. It's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder. It's Topic Thunder. News, brews, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
Hey, welcome back to the Thunderdome. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Topic Thunder. I'm Brooks, that's Ben, and that way, my way. Yeah, that went the other way. I messed it up. The first gig, first mistake of the new year belongs to this guy. You're muted, sir. Second mistake of the new year belongs to you. Still muted. Can't hear you. Uh-oh.
I was coughing. Yeah. Turn it back on.
Nah, yeah. Cough button errors. It's $5 into the
listen,
piggy
if you
bank.
came to this show looking for like professionalism and perfect radio, you're in the wrong place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is about the conversation. Yeah, it's a cool sweatshirt.
Fly by your seat of your pants radio.
It's what radio really should be. We're like ham radio operators back in the day. Like if you're into the old history of the Art Bell Coast to Coast origins. But we're not talking about that show. We're talking about Topic Thunder. And it's been a couple of weeks since we've had a chance to sit down and have a discussion. So hope everybody had a good Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Yule.
There's a lot to go. Isn't it weird how there's a lot of religious holidays like all around the same time? That's weird how that works.
It is kind of weird. You wonder where those traditions all kind of maybe started or came from, and why we have very similar stories. Like the major three religions on the planet all agree on the origin of the Abraham story and the lineage of that. Now, if that means anything
they
to
all
you,
have a flood story,
Yeah. So, wow. I guess that's the things that bring us together, just like the holidays. And yes, it's 2023. Never did I, as a child, expect to understand what that year meant. And sadly, as I get older, I understand exactly what it means. It means I'm getting older.
Old. Yeah.
Yes, Dad F and Brooks in the house. Everybody, Happy New Year! And we start the new year, the new show with a little. This is a very interesting alcohol. This is a hey-o, Billy Whack in the house. Ma Jordan, also CJ. Thank you as well, Mr. Henson. You will be sorry. See, there's Aunt Chris. It's a tequila that came from a really cool bottle swap Christmas office kind of thing. And if you scroll down, Ben, there's the anejo. That's how they make it. They cut down agave things and they smoke the agave, the plant. This is how they make tequila. And they put it in those big old vats with water and stuff. And then comes out 3 different types of the Terramana. And we went to the anejo. The interesting thing about this is that they were aged in whiskey barrels. So if you're looking for that pure, it's not exactly mezcal, but I think the same company makes a mezcal. So that's what you were seeing. There's that the agaves being smoked makes the mezcal. This is not your traditional tequila. So
I like tequila. It's the one liquor that I can handle pretty easily. So it's the go-to. That's the shot I take. A nice cold shot of Patron never is going to be a bad thing.
Have you tried the Casamigas?
No, tequila? I don't drink at all. So I don't. If it's not basic as fuck, I'm not. I haven't tried it.
The only reason I say is I think we've done it on the show. It's the George Clooney tequila. But God damn, is it good. Also, if we're doing celebrity boozes and tequilas, Cabo Wabo gets a shout out too, because that's a good tequila.
Mm-hmm.
Casamigas. Yeah, see, Billy Whack knows what's up. The Casamigas thing it's legit. It's a really good. Oh, down. See, we have tequila fans in the Thunderdome. I'd expect nothing less from the world's most dangerous chat room. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, It's been a while. There's a lot to talk about, I guess, here. I guess the first question I'd have to ask is, how many times would you ask a prospective lover out before realizing there's no chance in hell?
I think it's 2-3 tops.
Well, nobody told that to Kevin McCarthy, who needed that kind of sit-down conversation. Well, where were you, Ben, when Kevin McCarthy needed a friend as he was rejected for the 6th time?
No shit, because I know it was 3. I was going to ask what happened today, so another 3 times today.
And they actually just reconvened the House again. I'm sorry, the House at 8 Eastern, so 7 Central, right now, to go through another round of voting. And, I know this is being talked about everywhere, including international news. So when you hear the president of the United States off the cuff say it's an embarrassment, it kind of is.
This
right?
hasn't happened in 100 years. And 6 times I don't think it's happened ever.
Ever. No, not ever. And it's showing the dysfunction and the fracturing in
exactly
the
what we
Republican
said was
Party.
going to happen, Brooks. We called this when on election night the red tsunami did not happen. This was obvious that the Republican Party is eating itself now. It is full on eating itself.
You have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's staunchly in the corner of Kevin McCarthy, who once bestie sat next to and jeered the president of the United States in a joint session of Congress, sat next to Lauren Boebert, and hissed and booed at the Democratic president, are now like going at it. They're going.
Yeah, usually her and Gates and Boebert are on the same side, and even they're not on the same side of this whole thing. Like this is crazy, dude. I saw it today. Was it 20 Republicans are like not on the McCarthy train, and and meanwhile the Democrats unanimously vote their majority leader, and they're just sitting back and enjoying the shit show that is watching these Republicans try that. And as someone that I follow on social media pointed out, I don't remember who it is, or I would give him credit. How can you expect to negotiate in good faith with a party that can't even negotiate with itself and get on the same page? Like, this proves that the Republican Party, they aren't interested in coming together and working on bipartisan things. It is not about that for the Republican. There are extreme wings of the Republican Party that are not going to bend, and it's throwing everything into flux at this point.
And some of the finer points that these representatives are arguing for are spots on committees, and they call them gavel positions, right? So it would be, I guess, Matt Gaetz is trying to get to the Armed Services Committee, subcommittee, something like that. Anybody, there's a Judiciary Committee. There's all kinds of committees, and if you have the gavel, you have influence. You cut people off. You control what's being discussed and the agenda and so on and so forth. So there's just right, and it is pretty delicious, right? If it wasn't our government that should be working for us at this point, right?
We're also in a complete shit show as a nation and needed our leaders to get their shit together and get organized. If it wasn't for that, this would be even more entertaining.
You would, and it's signaling the end of what we know as the Republican Party. If anybody had any reservations about that, whatever conservative wing that resembles Reagan era Republican strategy and philosophy will splinter off and form something else, and maybe they get traction or not. I don't know. It'll be the more moderate version of this that gains traction, right? Which it always does. But you're talking about some loons out there now, like that have been like seats of power in the halls of power. The wrong people too, because there's a whole bunch of people that are sitting in like Paul Gosar, allegedly one of the congresspersons looking for a pardon from then President Trump. staunch supporter, anti-vax, all that kind of. He hits all the MAGA strong points. Is out there like campaigning to Democrats, saying, "I guess this is all right." So, rumors on the internet, right? Is that on the last night at the last vote, the third vote, McCarthy started telling Republicans that he had Democrat defectors. And I just need a handful of votes from you guys because I got a bunch of those guys ready to jump on the board. And that's when you saw us, courtesy of C-SPAN, which you've never seen the Congress like this before with C-SPAN, because C-SPAN is currently controlling the cameras. This is fascinating. So they're controlling the cameras. Once there's a speaker of the House, they convene, they argue and consider what they call rules, and immediately the Speaker's party takes control of the cameras. You are seeing live, unfiltered actions of our government right now if you choose to find C-SPAN on your dial. When you see AOC arguing with Matt Gaetz and getting into an animated discussion with Paul Gosar, I guess she was basically saying there's no fucking way any of us are voting for that guy. Get your shit together and let's go. And it's been true 6 times, unanimous Democratic support for Hakeem Jeffries,
right?
Which brings me to this question for you, Ben, and the Thunderdome. What's more likely? Democratic defectors to the Republican side to get McCarthy into the speaker's role?
And I guess I don't even know how that works. I guess I need to understand how that works too. But finish.
You can vote for anybody for speaker.
Okay.
They're just voting down party lines right now.
Got it. I see.
What's more likely? Republicans, Democrats jumping or Republicans voting for Hakeem Jeffries on the Democrat side just to say, we got to get this going. We got to get rolling here. What's more likely? I have my thoughts and theories on that.
Yeah, that's interesting. But you never know with like because Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz are at the forefront of their side of the anti-McCarthy caucus, if you will. And so they're so crazy that I don't know what they might do. Like, would they vote for a Democrat? I don't know. Would they?
No, we're talking about the more moderate people.
Just saying, all right, to get this shit over with and move on.
Look what you're doing to your You're embarrassing us. You're embarrassing us on the global scale.
I think. Okay, now that I'm wrapping my head truly around what is happening here, it is way more likely that there's going to be moderate Republicans that just go, all right, fuck this shit. I'll vote for Hakeem Jeffries. And what would that? So that would mean that a Democrat is the Speaker of the House?
A minority Speaker of the House, not a majority Speaker of the House. But he would be. It would be really weird, and it would be something that we'd have to look up and see if that was ever the case. I'm sure there's been a situation like that in our government before, but not that I can recall in our lifetime. And that would be a thing, man. That would be a thing.
That would
because,
be so wild.
Like you were saying, it's 20 Republicans holding up this whole show right now, which is akin to a hostage situation.
Yeah.
Like those
and
20 people.
Green's even pissed off about it, right?
Right. And she's... could you imagine what's going on behind closed doors right now?
Oh, I bet the geniuses are all getting together and having a very stimulating conversation, I'm sure.
Green said she was furious with her friends in the conservative House Freedom Caucus for pressing Kevin McCarthy for committee seats before the vote. Again, they were basically leveraging
they're like blackmailing them, or for all intents and purposes. I guess that's not maybe the right word, but at least politically
negotiating.
Yeah, you give me this, and I'll go ahead and vote for you. And that's not how this is supposed to work, right?
At all. And this is very altruistic then of MTG. This is very much unlike her to be championing like unity, even if it was for what most sane people
it's so weird to see her on the opposite side from Gaetz and Boebert, because they have been like the holy trinity of stupid, and been in lockstep with each other a lot.
Hold on to your seat.
Yeah.
A quote from Representative Green. We have been negotiating, talking, debating back and forth in our conference, trying to come up with really good rules package. And it's amazing. As a matter of fact, I'll quote Matt Gaetz. He said, "It's exquisite," Green told reporters at the Capitol on Tuesday. That's what he said on our conference call Sunday. During the conference meeting, Green said she learned that 3 members were, quote, demanding positions for themselves, demanding gavel positions, demanding subcommittees, demanding for people to be taken off committees and for people to be put on committees. Three Republicans out of our 222, end quote. The only thing that I have done is debate and request and argue amongst my peers for the rights, for the rules package, and for our agenda for the American people. And that's the only thing I've done. Quote from Green.
Yeah, that is about it, actually. Yeah.
Further going, she continued.
That's the most
to
honest
speak.
thing she's ever said.
And then she continued to speak, which is a fatal flaw in somebody like her position. Quote, "I'm the only Republican that has 0 committees. So you would think I would be the one in there asking for something, but I haven't done that. But I come to find out that it's my Freedom Caucus colleagues and my supposed friends that went in there and did that, and they asked nothing for me. Nothing. That's what I found out in there. I'm furious."
Yes.
It only lasted so long, right? You know, that
Yes,
glimmer
you're right.
of hope. They're like,
I was
oh,
thinking
maybe she's
before
coming
that.
around.
Right before that paragraph, I'm like, oh my God, am I agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Holy shit. I'm about to have to go on a mic live in front of all my friends and family and admit that I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on something. And then, kabooyah. It's all about me. They didn't ask for anything for me, and I'm pissed.
I've got nothing.
What the fuck? I thought we were cool.
Yeah,
That's basically
exactly.
what she's saying is like, what the fuck, guys? I thought we were cool.
Which is a lot more like an episodes of Sopranos than any one of us really wants to admit.
True, that is so great. And it is, I'm telling you, man, I would, you're a Democrat in Congress. You're just sitting back and chuckling to yourself. I mean, this is theater. I mean, this is just comedy unfolding in front of you. I mean, this is amazing to be watching happening. That this is happening in 2023, that they can't get their shit together is just amazing.
It's been actually mentioned on the floor by 2 Republican representatives because there have been several Democratic representatives that have been poking fun at it. And like Representative Ted Lieu from California, actually it was in front of the speaker's office without the placard with a bag of popcorn.
I saw
right?
that. That's
so
yeah,
twice today, it's Steve. He completely trolled the Republicans, and they just chomped on it because they mentioned that those Democrats are eating popcorn watching this. Like, could you imagine that? Yeah, it's not anything they have control over. Just watching you people act like children, like kindergartners. This is the first grade class when the teacher's not around. They kind of all get into groups and they all start to hate each other for some stupid reason, even though they all look the same, they all speak the same, they all have the same clothes, whatever, right? You're just first graders, but you get a bit of little pods and they start like, yeah, that person. They have all of the crayons. Well, fuck them. We've got the construction paper. We ain't playing that game. Speaking of playing games, it's not the only news that came out of the halls of Congress today. Let's walk the other side of the rotunda and speak about a good friend of the show, Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. A lot of stuff came out in the January 6th committee, right? A lot of stuff didn't come out, like the Ginny Thomas testimony. Dear January 6th committee, can you please release the testimony of a would-be insurrectionist, somebody who was part of the coup d'etat against the United States of America, and also happens to be married to a Supreme Court justice?
Yes.
We might want to see what she had to say, even if it was just, I plead the fifth.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's eventually got to all come out, right? I mean, they're releasing everything. I would
CIA was supposed to release all the Kennedy shit. Like, they just keep like, right? At this point, like, they gave us enough, and this is something that we kind of, again, tying like these long threads here together, because that's just how all of this information comes to light after a long investigation.
Mhm.
Senator Ron Johnson said in a statement on Tuesday that he had no recollection of a conversation with Andrew Hitt, and accused the committee of investigating the 2021 Capitol insurrection of attempting to smear him by selectively releasing text messages. Now, what is he talking about? Well, what could he be talking about? Well, he's talking about these text messages from political correspondents of the Wisconsin Republican Party. The actual executive director, Hitt, who was the state party chairman, texted the Wisconsin Republican Party executive director, basically stating this. This is the quote from the text. Ron called me right after and is now arguing for us to have the legislature choose the electors. OMG. Jefferson replied, what is he doing? Hitt, this is a huge amount of pressure building on them to find a way around the electoral college.
Mhm.
Jefferson, how can he feel good about promoting that, though? Does he believe we won here? This is the same Senator Ron Johnson, whose chief of staff was given a secret envelope on January 6th that contained names of new electors for several, I believe, 6 to 8 states, Wisconsin included. That was immediately given to Ron Johnson with the orders to get these names and people to Mike Pence, so he could bring them and swear them in as electors in Congress, who would then cast their ballot and the vote for that particular state to Donald Trump, thereby, oh my God, avoiding all the violence that that was going to happen anyway, because the violence was the cover for what they were trying to do with the electors. So again, long threads here, right? We've talked about Ron Johnson. I believe in the summer of 2015, spent the July 4th weekend in Moscow. Oh, the Russian thing. Again, long game, long strings. What would there were 7 American senators that went, by the way. Why would a senator or a congressperson from America go anywhere other than their constituency to celebrate the Independence Day of the country they represent?
Right. Just if for nothing else but the optics.
The optics alone say this is where you're out there pressing the flesh, kissing the babies at the state fair, doing like lighting off the fireworks or whatever, whatever those people do just to get that like you said, optics. That's good shit, right? People eat that up.
Mm-hmm.
And you spend it where? God damn it. It's that deep. It runs that deep. No, right? Brooks told you so, but I guess that's the game I'm playing at this point. But again, it's that brilliant of a plan. Nothing's rushed here.
Yeah. No, for real. That it is amazing to watch in real time now, like watching it play out and being able to go back 20 years plus, and seeing the breadcrumbs that were left along the way, to know that here we are now in total fucking chaos. We're having internal fucking chaos at our government on live television, and I'm sure Putin and his boys are also sitting back chuckling their fucking asses off, watching the shit show as it goes on.
It wouldn't be a far stretch to say that they manufactured this stalemate just for that purpose and that one purpose alone. To also make Trump seem, because again, once a success, all right, I've seen some spy movies, and once you're done with that particular asset, right, there's only one thing really to do. You either discredit them and bury them to the point where like they have nothing left, or you toss them out a window. They fall out of a window, which happened to 2 Russian oligarchs during the Christmas break. They were on a trip together, and it happened a week apart.
Yeah, Billy Wax, like right here too. They did manufacture. Trump was a sleeper agent in that he too was asleep for it. Like, I tend to agree with that. Where like Trump was manipulated and didn't even understand or see that he was being manipulated.
Yes and no. I think Trump's smarter in a way than we give him credit for, because he knows how to work in the mob and organized crime network, right? He's not an eloquent speaker by any stretch of the imagination, but not smart people aren't necessarily that way either.
Right.
Just because you can speak fluently and make yourself sound smart doesn't necessarily mean you are.
Yeah.
And vice versa, for sure, right? He knew how to speak mob language and mob tactics. So when he saw that presented to him, sure, did he not like being the most powerful guy around? Absolutely, I'm sure. But was he then connected to some of the most powerful people around? Which is the next best thing, I would imagine, in the mob. As long as you're making one guy ahead of you happy, you don't have to worry about everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It is the Manchurian Candidate. We're actually watching that kind of happen. It's a weird, like, introverted version of Red Dawn.
Yeah.
The old school one, not the one with the Chinese, because that would never happen. Russians crossing the Mexican border and the Canadian border, absolutely. All right, abrupt change here, right? But I think you'll appreciate where we're going to go here. We're going to go all the way to Norway, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Electric car sales soar, setting a new record. And I just like the percentages here and I like the numbers, right? Electric cars made up almost 80% of the cars sold in Norway last year, following a series of incentives offered by the government. U.S. Automaker Tesla sold more cars than any other brand for the second consecutive year. I don't think they're going to make a third.
No, because I've talked about this before, but every major manufacturer of automobiles is going, if not all electric, the majority electric in the next 10 years. So Tesla got out to the early lead, but like Ford is not going to let Tesla sell the most fucking vehicles ever. They're not going to let that happen for very long.
No, GM, Volkswagen, they're like, you're right. I mean, I get emails from Mazda like, hey, we're gonna do the EV for the CX-50 now. All right, cool. Right, cool. We need this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Norwegians bought the highest number of electric cars ever in 2022. 4 out of every 5 cars bought was an electric car.
Incredible.
In actual figures, that's 138,265 electric cars. That represents 79.3% of total passenger car sales. They beat their own record of the previous year when they sold 65% all electric. So in the last 2 years, it's been what's that kind of average out to? About 70 something percent?
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yep.
Electric cars. So you're talking probably if they sold 138, maybe they sold a little bit less the previous year. We're looking at 260,000 EV cars. That's pretty cool because Norway's not a huge country. Like 186,000 EVs in the streets of Chicago. Cool. You see one every 16 cars, but 4 out of 5 is pretty impressive. And yeah, Tesla has 12% of the market share in that. And we'll revisit this next year just to see how old Elon's once bright and shiny baby boy.
Tesla's stock did not do well the last week of the year. This last year traded a 2-year low.
Let me ask you this then, or a complete segue here before we actually not a complete segue. Let's
because we're still going to do another Tesla story.
We got another Tesla story locked and loaded. Is Elon doing this to Tesla on purpose? We've seen him manipulate stocks before, and he sees how the market reacts to it. He's a marketing and engineering major, right? So he sees things, he knows how to build things, he sees structure in things, and he knows the movement of the economy. And it seems to have a decent understanding of mass psychology. I'm not too keen on stock, so I'm not sure what, other than if he's selling a ton of his shares high and then depressing the stock even more with his goofy ass actions on Twitter.
Yeah.
Would he be able then to buy back? He would be, right? He'd be able to be.
Unless
he's shorting himself then, right?
Yeah. Unless there is something in his contract that says that he can't do something like that. But I mean, he's manipulated the stock before and didn't get in trouble. Remember, we talked about it. I was like, well, they got to do something, and they did nothing. They gave him if anything, a slap on the wrist, like, hey, don't do that again.
That crazy crypto stuff. Well, you better watch it there.
He did it with Dogecoin, which they couldn't. Nobody could really do anything about because it's crypto, right? That was his test. Then he did it with Tesla stock and Twitter stock.
Twitter stock first, right?
Twitter stock first, and they did it with Tesla stock, where he purposely brought the price down, bought a bunch, and then the price went way up, and he made a bunch of money on it. I think there is manipulation. I think because he's gotten away with it, he feels emboldened to continue to do it, like anyone would. If you did something that you know is wrong, and got caught, and everybody knows you did it, but no penalty has come to you for it, what the fuck why wouldn't you continue to do it? Why wouldn't you just do it bigger?
Makes no sense.
He went from Dogecoin to Twitter to Tesla. He's going to do it all.
Literally. Unless Tesla and SpaceX, they all come to their smarts and have a come to Jesus moment and kick him off. I'm sure there has to be a way to fire the CEO. There's got to be a way the board can listen, look at our stock's down 600% over the last year, and it isn't anything the cars have done, but the cars have tried to kill people.
Yes. And people are using it as an excuse to kill their families. Did you see that?
No. What? That's even more interesting than this.
Yeah. Well, okay. Because this is a Tesla autopilot leads police on a chase before driver finally wakes
up. Right. Well, this is Bamberg, Germany. A driver in Germany had his license taken away after he appeared to have fallen asleep behind the wheel of his Tesla, which was on autopilot, and led police on a chase. December 29th at noon, local time. Police spotted the Tesla driving down the Autobahn 70, leaving Bamberg, Germany, and heading towards Bayreuth. Great name. Bayreuth, according to a news release from Bavarian police. Not German police, Bavarian police. They're very special. Officials attempted to stop the Tesla, but the vehicle did not pull over. The car was traveling at about 70 miles an hour, did not slow down or speed up during the attempted traffic stop. The Tesla kept the same distance from the patrol car in front as they traveled down the Autobahn.
Like it's designed to do, yeah?
Officers pulled up next to the Tesla's driver's side window and noticed the driver, only identified as a 45-year-old male, reclined in his seat with his eyes closed and hands off the steering wheel. This strengthened the suspicion that he had left the controls to autopilot and fallen asleep, police said. Now that's some good police work right there.
That is amazing. And that is not that just happens to be a time that guy got caught. Like Tesla, there's a ton of Tesla owners that sleep while they drive. Like that is a fairly, those are the ones that drive on the highway a decent distance to and from work. I know for sure that there are plenty of Tesla drivers that are just like, man, I'm just gonna take a little nappy.
I know it's huge in the LA area as they get caught up in that insane traffic in there. I know those things are just like nap cabins for people.
Yes. But in California, I guess I read this today. I guess yesterday, the news came out that a Tesla had driven off this cliff in California and everyone lived. There was a 3-year-old kid, a 6-year-old kid, and 2 41-year-old adults. They drive off this cliff in a Tesla and they live, right? And then the story was yesterday. Oh my God, another Tesla drives off the road, right? Not so fast. They investigate and they find out that the father tried to kill the whole family by driving off the cliff, and he wanted it to appear that the Tesla just drove off of the cliff so that he wouldn't get caught. But somehow they investigated the crash and determined that he did it on purpose to try to kill his family, but none of them died.
And he was in the car too.
He was in the car too. He was trying to kill himself and his whole family. Failed, but they figured out somehow, and that part of the investigation hasn't come out, but they somehow figured out in less than 24 hours, they put together and they arrested him for attempted murder.
If Tesla is, if it's anything, obviously it's a car, but it's also a data hog, right? It is absolutely mapping the environment you're in inside and out. It's watching what you do. It's your habits. It is cameras are out there and mapping the roads so it knows and all this kind of fun stuff. And I've got the distance thing on my Mazda. Like that's pretty cool, right? But it doesn't
adaptive cruise control. It's super cool. Yeah,
it's super cool, but like there's some flaws, right? It doesn't understand like when a car pulls ahead of you like that. We're all kind of but it slows down to the point you're like, way right.
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine a Tesla maybe being smart enough to not do that, but it's also probably recording everything you do and don't do, right? It knows exactly how long it's been on that autopilot, and it probably knows that, like, yeah, you didn't turn when you should have turned or swerved when you really shouldn't have, and I can see that. But yeah,
it is a bit early in the game to start sleeping in your car. Like the technology is not that great. But I'll tell you what, that Volvo technology that I was telling y'all about a couple of weeks ago, that LiDAR technology is going to change the game where those things are going to full on drive themselves where you don't have to worry about it. And like Volvo's serious about safety. So they're not going to put it out there and allow full autopilot like that unless they are 100% certain that it's not going to fuck up and is not going to kill someone. And then that's when these autopilot and electric vehicles are going to be the fucking bomb, yo.
And we got, and it could just throw some high-speed trains into the mix too.
Please, we can, but I would love to believe that, Brooks, and you know that I'm a big proponent of that. But I think that we're too far along to go backwards. Like that is the pipe dream of all pipe dreams. We're never gonna convince the masses that high-speed rail is more effective than air travel. It's just we're not going to get people to believe that.
Just ask all those wonderful passengers of Southwest Airlines over the last couple of days how they feel.
It'd be great if you had a high-speed rail train that could make it through snow and all that shit and get people where they needed to go rather than stranding people everywhere. Yeah.
It works on magnets, and I think the cold actually helps. But I think we may have gotten off a little track. But right, we were talking a little bit about the crazies, and we still need to keep our eye and finger on the pulse of these people because they continue to do stupid shit. Authorities have charged 2 men for attacking 4 Pierce County, Washington power substations. Let's get 4 power substations, denying electric power to thousands of people on Christmas Day. The Western Washington U.S. Attorney's Office announced on Tuesday. Matthew Greenwood and Jeremy Cran also caused more than $3 million in estimated power substation damages, broke into local businesses and stole from its cat. See, you're not heroes. You're petty fucking thieves and vandals. You just think it's cool to shoot up a substation. And thankfully, I don't think anybody died from the situation. But tens of thousands, 14,000 people lost their electricity on Christmas Day. And what was your message? Oh, we robbed a convenience store too.
Right. Was this in response to somebody wanting to have well, we were talking about it the other day, a couple weeks ago, the drag queens.
Right.
Somebody trying to have a drag queen read to kids, and that's why they did it this time?
I don't think there is any motive as of
drag
yet.
show. Thank you.
The drag show. Yeah, I don't think that we have a motive here as of yet. Other than investigators say that these perpetrators knew exactly what they were doing to cause the damage. So they did some studying. They did their homework. So again, this is not something that's going away. This is something we need to be aware of, shout down when we see it. And if you see something, say something, because these people are serious about violence. We don't get it.
And as we joke about, and we spent 20 minutes fucking joking about the Republican Party being in shambles on live television. It gets to a point where they then lose faith in even those people. And then now that's all bets off, and they just decide, these militias decide that they're just going to start causing chaos. And you're right. There's a true danger that we need to be aware of with these militias and these extreme conservatives.
And who's courted these extremists and these militias, these oath keepers and these proud boys? Who's courted their allegiance? We have exclusive video of this guy.
Hold on.
We're experiencing some technical difficulties at the moment.
No, I've got it. No, here we go. So this is the Twitter video you're talking about, right? He's such a dude.
Does he know what the song is about? First of all,
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh man, what a douche!
he cannot totally. He moves like Spanos. He cannot appreciate or know what the song's about. Who it was actually written by.
No. That's again one of those things that he just does in the moment, and then someone says to him, "Sir, do you understand what that song was about?" And he goes, "I didn't even know that was a song. I never heard that song before."
I partied in what was that famous club, Area 52, whatever, Club 54, Andy Warhol, that kind of. I'm sure he probably heard it in there while he was partying hard, and again, that was a big party thrown by the gays every night there. Studio 54. And thank you. I think I beat you there, but thank you everybody. I'm sure he was partying there and heard the song there, and like didn't understand, doesn't know, and okay. This guy has his finger on the trigger of those people willing to go shoot up substations and deny people of power. Who knows? You could have, maybe somebody could have been on a ventilator at a hospital, and you don't know. 14,000 people is a wide swath in Washington, I would imagine. It's not a densely populated area, so it's I don't know.
What a goofy bastard he is.
And can we just admit that this is proof? This is Grandpa on Adderall.
Yes, yeah, that is someone's grandfather at the wedding that's had a little too much to drink, and is you can't get up because he's too old and creaky to get up and actually dance.
His diaper's full. He can't get up.
Table, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm dancing. Look at me dancing, guys.
Yeah, you think it's funny? Yeah, you.
I'm gonna pat the table because I'm dancing. Look at me."
No, it's because I can't control my body because I took too much speed, and now I'm just freaking out in front of you.
Oh,
let's not stop there with the videos, Ben. This one was sent in by our good friend Tipton Moscow. And I don't know, this screams Russia too to me, but so it's appropriate from Tipton Moscow.
I can't get this any bigger, so I apologize in advance, but you'll see what's going on. I think you'll well, thankfully they give us a big headline that tells us exactly what's going on.
You can see Dimitri lighting the glass of vodka in his hand.
It spills out of the glass immediately and just sets everything on fucking fire.
It spills all over the ground. Look at him panic like a little rabbit. No, motherfucker. There you go. Smartest thing you've done thus far. All right, try to put it out. Try to put it out. Now get out. Get out. Dimitri, what are you doing? Get out. Dimitri. The door's open, Dimitri. Get out. Leave!
Sitting in it. What are you doing? Get out!
Pray to the gods of fire! Get out, Dimitri! Oh no, Dimitri, not to go! Don't bring it with you!
Oh, what a dumb bastard!
So, folks, just so you know,
don't light your vodka on fire.
Oh, to be honest with you, I don't think that you could just I don't think that's like Grey Goose or Smirnoff or anything like that. That's like the 200 proof spiritus. That's
like moonshine kind of.
That's Everclear kind of, like, at least Bacardi 151, 151 setting for the proof, obviously, is I don't think you could light. I think you could light 151 on fire, but I think that's kind of where the whole consumable alcohol is flammable level starts. But yeah, that Everclear is like 200 proof. It's pure grain alcohol. Yes, absolutely. So let's not stop there, right? Let's go to what the top Putin propagandist urges: Russians to embrace death. We'll go to heaven. It's exactly what you want to hear. As the bodies pile up in Russia's war against Ukraine, Kremlin mouthpiece Vladimir Solomov is urging Russians to welcome death. Quote, life is highly overrated. Why be afraid of what is inevitable? Moreover, we'll go to heaven. Death is the end of one earthly path, and the beginning of another. He went on to question why people would let their fear of death, quote, influence their decisions, end quote. It's only worth living for something you can die for. That's the way it should be, he said in his Swarm Studios. This is, again, Russian TV is nuts. And the closest thing that we in America have to it is InfoWars. Throw a little Tucker Carlson in there, but when you the studios look the same, the zoom ins look the same, the talking points, funny enough, are all the same. It is wild. Russian like talk show daytime TV is insanely wild. And worth working just at least to taking a peek, just to educate yourself, see what those people are saying, because this guy is basically saying, hey, you got to go and die in Ukraine. You were going to die anyway. So what's the difference? What's to say you weren't destined to die fighting a needless and senseless war in Ukraine?
Meanwhile, he's definitely not fucking suiting up to go fucking join the fight.
That guy got a bonus of rubles in his paycheck, and again, he's saying this from a very nice and cozy, warm studio, probably in the suburbs of Moscow. So, of course, this was the other part. An obscure group calling itself the Soldiers' Widows seemed to appear out of nowhere this week to call on the Russian president to do just that. Basically, they're asking for a mass mobilization, like millions of Russians to be called up to the military to just crush Ukraine. They want to close the borders so people of age, men of age, can't leave. This is in an open letter published on Telegram on Monday. The mysterious group urged Vladimir Putin to declare a general mobilization and block all military-age men from leaving the country. Quote, now is not the time to get cold feet. Joseph Stalin didn't think about any ratings or dissatisfaction of dissidents in his quest for victory. No, Stalin easily killed probably 30 million people, and 5 million of them were Ukrainians, which he starved in a very famous famine caused by the Russian military. That's what's being said on the other side, ladies and gentlemen.
You could see that happen.
It's real, folks. It's real. And all the smart people are talking about it. But again, the closest thing might be Tucker Carlson as far as mainstream, but is the way the production is, the way they flash bang you with talking points that by the time you're like have a second to like recognize what they're talking about and saying, the segment's already gone, but the imprint of everything, all of the flashing lights, all the noise, it's all propaganda. God damn it. Actually, you sent this to me, Ben, and you sent it to me like with my morning coffee. And I was like, no. Yes. Montgomery, Alabama.
This is the headline of all headlines.
Airline employee dead after being ingested into engine, authorities say.
Find a different way to say that.
You couldn't? There was an accident. There was a plane-related accident. No. I like the PR person's thinking. No. I just got off of like a 23-hour bender, which I read Stephen King's The Stand twice. Mm-hmm. We're going to go with ingested into the engine. The National Transportation Safety Board confirmed that American Airlines plane was parked at the gate with the parking brake set when the ground crew employee was, quote, ingested into the engine. We are saddened to hear about the tragic loss of a team member of the AA Piedmont Airlines. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family during this difficult time. What about like passengers?
Yeah. Like, what about them?
Somebody sitting down on down engine, ingest. Oh, thank you. All right, we got. Oh, yeah. It's like the plane ate him.
Yes, it is. It is the oddest choice of words that I've ever seen for associated with someone's death.
Well, then maybe this next story is not too far off, Ben.
Okay.
We like to talk about robots. We like to talk about things that might, I don't know, eventually bring us our own demise. But this is not that segment.
Oh shit!
It is close to that segment.
God damn it, Brooks! You had me there for a second. Oh, people, you guys
Leave
are not
it.
gonna like this.
Leave it to the Chinese to create an absolute army of robot dogs that can travel up to 17 kilometers an hour.
This is terrifying.
5 sets of stereo cameras that can process images. No guns yet. Look at all of them.
In unison. How is this not?
Look at that. It's got the mount for the gun right there sitting in its middle of its back. Ravage, it is. It is. The Decepticons. They'll be patrolling the border. They'll be patrolling the streets. They're going to be everywhere, Ben. But it's okay. Because we talk a lot about these things, Ben. And this is not that segment. But the good news is, Ben, we don't have to worry about the robots because scientists say the planet is in the midst of a 6th mass extinction where Earth's wildlife is running out of places to live.
Oh, good. And this is not the ELE, you son of a bitch.
This is not that segment, Ben, but closely resembles that segment.
Yes.
In what year will the human population grow too large for Earth to sustain? The answer is about 1970. I believe we established at the beginning of the show it's 2023. We're a little late. In 1970, the planet's 3.5 billion people were sustainable. But on New Year's Day, the population is 8 billion. Today, wild plants and animals are running out of places to live. The scientists you're about to meet say the Earth is suffering a crisis of a mass extinction on a scale unseen since the dinosaurs. This is a story from CBSnews.com, and it's a segment on 60 Minutes. Not that segment, close to that segment, Ben. Because if that doesn't finish us off, well, this next segment surely will. Ben, let's play a little game.
Okay.
I saw this website called Asteroid Launcher. And it's great that we're playing this song too. This is the perfect bed for this. So Ben, let's just you have control. You have the comm, Ben.
Okay.
Pick for wherever. You could scroll out to the entire planet, Ben.
Launch app.
So how? No, wait. Oh, wait.
Oh shit.
So now I want you to that's just the crater. Scroll so there's two things going on here, right? So that there is a column there on the right. And if you go back to the map and scroll out to show how big that fireball will be. There's all kinds of fun data right there, folks. An estimated 811,228 people would receive third-degree burns. Almost 6 million would die from the fireball. Ben, scroll down on that side. There'll be a 241 decibel shock wave that will kill 3.5 million people. Anyone within 44 kilometers will receive lung damage from a shock wave. 57, anyone within 57 kilometers would have their eardrums ruptured. Buildings within 99 kilometers would collapse. I think there's one more. The winds. An estimated 4.7 people would die from the wind blast. Wind within 30 kilometers would be faster.
People would die from the wind blast of an asteroid hit. Jeez.
People within 86 kilometers would feel like being inside of an E5 tornado. Now, if you go back to the new button, let's hit the reset button there. New. So you can pick another spot or we just scroll out, whatever. Let's make our asteroid something bigger. Go all the way. We're America. We go all the way. Speed, sure. Impact angle, that determines like the weight. Oh, yeah, go for it because I think an interesting oblique. Now go back up to the asteroid because we can select what the asteroid's made of. Gold, comet. I think iron is going to be the way to go. I think that's going to do the most damage.
All right.
There we go.
Oh, Kentucky's about to get it.
A lot of people are about to get it. It's not just Kentucky. So that's a 70-kilometer wide crater. That's over a mile. 144-kilometer wide fireball. Let's see how big the fireball from that strike would be. Oh, yeah, Chicago.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Within that circle, 50 times the fatalities.
In this circle.
40 million people will die. Another 13 million third-degree burns. Yeah. 240.
In Houston.
Yeah. People, 5.5 million people will die because of the sonic wave, the decibels, the shock wave, the noise. Anyone within 430 kilometers would likely receive lung damage from a sound wave. It is better than living in Utah. 5 kilometer a second wind speeds kill 30 million people. Within 290 kilometers, storms wind faster than on Jupiter. Homes within 476 kilometers will be completely leveled. So this one, this website's called
It'll be a 9.2 magnitude earthquake.
That'll kill just 140,000 people.
No big deal.
This was neil.fun/asteroid-launcher. Neil's, I found this on Reddit. It was well liked in the.
That's super interesting that someone made this and gives you a perspective on like what could fucking happen.
We talk about that all the time, right? And here it is, like a simulator that, like, oh shit, like it's not just the big boom, right? Or the 74-kilometer wide crater. It's all the crazy shit after it. And before we get to the really big shoe, I'm going to throw this one out there to kind of cleanse the palate and make you feel good and whole again. Kind of. I found an internet K-hole. In fact, that's the name of the website, is internetkhole.com.
The fuck is a K-hole?
These are pictures of people doing things from a time before the internet to remind you that people have always done stupid shit in front of a camera, and probably even before cameras. They've posed the same way, they've looked the same way, they've done the same stupid shit. There just wasn't an internet. Right. All it is legitimately pictures from a long time ago in almost a galaxy far, far away. We've all been there. We've all seen people doing these pictures, taking these pictures. Look, they're just the wholesome pictures. Some of them are fun. Some of them aren't. Some of them are cool. Some of them aren't. It's just like this random grouping. Like, yeah, remember the weird double exposures or pictures? There's ghosts. So if you're bored and want to feel good about a time before the internet, internetkHole.com. Look at that hair.
Hair just dude.
Right?
This is crazy. Yeah.
This is,
there was a world before 1994.
Imagine that. People doing the same shit.
It's very cool. Very interesting.
Right? Thought we'd kind of walk ourselves up to the next segment with a little bit of nostalgia, right? So without any further ado, I see Mama Jerding in the chat room. So thanks, Ma Jerding. We got a lot of parents. We need like a parents section, like a VI parents, right? We kind of need that section, I think. I don't know. That'll be the cheapest level of the Patreon. That will never come.
Ma Jerding, welcome to the greatest segment in podcast history.
It's the Lightning Round! And ladies and gentlemen, the Lightning Round, it's very simple. If you haven't joined us before, welcome. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, we appreciate it. The Lightning Round is simply this: 3 stories. Oh, I shouldn't do that. 3 stories enter. Yeah, I don't want to do the circle thing because I don't want to be confused for those stupid white supremacists because they basically hijack the OK symbol. It's the circle game, Brooks. Yeah, right. 3 stories enter the Thunderdome, ladies and gentlemen. 1 gets read, and that is chosen by you, the people. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further dilly or dally, let's get to headline number 1. Melted butter clogs Wisconsin canal after dairy plant fire. Nothing.
Okay.
Headline number 2. UK town cancels New Year's festival fireworks and for a walrus, only for it to masturbate and leave.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
And headline number 3. Drunken man poops on PT cruiser, tells hospital staff his blood will be pure natural ice. So let's go over those one more time as you're doing your computations and kind of just reeling from the sheer stupidity of humanity in the segment we call the lightning round. We're going to go over it one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Get your votes in as soon as you've made your decisions. Headline number 1. Melted butter clogs Wisconsin canal after dairy plant fire. It's funnier than you think. UK town cancels New Year's Eve fireworks for a walrus, only for it to masturbate and leave. And headline number 3, drunken man poops on PT cruiser, tells hospital staff his blood will be pure natural ice.
Poops on a PT cruiser. Amazing.
Get your votes in as soon as you've made your decisions, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a couple in right now, 3 to be exact.
2.
But it's a lot of butter. If it clogs the canal, it's a lot of butter. That is the lightning round, ladies and gentlemen. We got another vote for number 1. Number 3 is all alone over there. Get your votes in, ladies and gentlemen. I'll go over them one more time as people are there. Over there, we
butter plug. That might be the best one ever. That might be the best one yet. I am the walrus and Poo T Cruiser.
Well done, Ryan Hansen remix.
Yeah.
So
starting 2023 off very strong, Mr. Hansen.
2 there. We got 3. We got Aunt Chris. Your vote is in. Ryan Hansen, your vote is in. Dad F. and Brooks, your vote is in. It's going to be between stories 1 and 2, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're waiting for Gigi. Waiting for Gigi's vote. She's probably in the kitchen cooking food.
Yeah,
with her hair up.
Whoa.
Gigi's going for the walrus. Oh, I'm going to pay for that one later. But truth be told, she probably is right now cooking food in the kitchen. It's just the time to make dinner. Here in the old, I wasn't about to say the Brooks household, but I would pay for that one. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to start to close the voting here. I think we do have a winner by a handful of votes. And folks, you want to hear about a walrus, don't ya? A walrus was on the shore of Scarborough, UK in December. It brought visitors from far and wide to view the magnificent marine mammal that was a long way from home. However, late night visitors to Thor, as the walrus has been nicknamed, got a ringside seat to an unexpected centipede peep show as it took the opportunity to masturbate. Thor's trip to Scarborough saw the town canal in its New Year's Eve fireworks display cancel in order to protect the mammal, a move that was celebrated by many for prioritizing the well-being of wildlife over human entertainment. The walrus first made an appearance on December 30th, after which a cordon was set up to keep him safe. At some point during his rest, it seems the animal felt no pressure from the many watching eyes as it began to masturbate with a flipper. You might think the behavior crass, but it's common amongst many wild species. Thor could even be congratulated for practicing some restraint, as some walruses have been observed practicing oral sex on themselves.
Yeah.
Never knew.
Yeah, I never knew. That's a new one for me.
That's a feat of you do yoga? Shit, man. Like, did you get your 2 ribs taken out there? Thor. Masturbation has also been observed among wild primates, horses, and squirrels. Some animals have even been observed using objects to get the job done, like this wild chimp with a link that got creative with a discarded plastic bottle.
Yeah, I did not know walruses could masturbate. I learned something new today.
It's pretty impressive that they have that desire to please themselves. He's like, got on shore, like, hey guys, I just need to crank one off here, and I'm gonna get right back in the water and get on with my trip. All right. So, no, you don't have to watch. I'm not gonna stop. You don't have to. Like, you got kids. I mean, I'm here to do a thing. I came to your fine town for one reason and one reason only, and that's to jerk off on your docks, ladies and gentlemen.
Jerk off on your docks. Show Dave.
Whatever number this is. But yeah, that was Topic Thunder for the first one out of the gate in 2023. Did he nap afterwards? He should have. You got to rest up after. Yeah, right. I hope so. I hope Thor got a nice. Is there video? Dad, after Brooks asking for video. I don't know, Dad. Google it and rip your computer. Rest in peace, your computer. If you Google masturbating walruses.
Yeah, they would like to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, right. Google's gonna, you're gonna get Tim Apple's gonna give you a call. No, you don't have a Mac. All right, cool. But anyway, Topic Thunder, first out of the gate for the new year, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks. It was good to be back. Good to talk with you, Ben. As always, thank you so much for the ride along here and the co-hosting duties. You don't get enough credit for having the fun that we do here. So thank you. And tomorrow, interdimensional wrestling.
Yeah, multiverse. We're